Hi friends, Shay here. So today I'm here with my book haul. This is gonna be long. I went crazy this quarter. I didn't mean to, but it happened. So here we are. So I'm gonna start this video off by talking about the things kindly sent to me from publishers. I have a couple of a few publishers that sent me things and I'm very grateful to them. And then we will get into the things that were sent to me as gifts from friends, from subscribers, because y'all are so generous. And then we will get into the things that I paid my own money for. And believe me, there's a lot. So let's dive in. So I'm going to start, as always, with my stack from Forever Romance. They are so kind to me. They've been working with me for years. I am so grateful every time they send me things because I am usually very, very, very excited to own it. So first up, I finally got a copy of Blacklisted by Jay Crownover. I love this series with so much of my being. And this is a really great cowboy small town romance. This one we're dealing with a motorcycle club. And I believe Jay Crownover is now going to write stories about the motorcycle club. So this will kind of be like a crossover book, I think. I'm not 100% sure. I might be Boo Boo the Fool. But I would love to see that happen if that's not the plan. And I really enjoy this particular series, the Loveless Texas series from Jay Crownover. So if you have not tried it, I recommend checking it out. Then they sent me Dream a Little Dream by Melinda Curtis. I love the series. The Sunshine Valley series is so fun. We've got a small town. We've got meddling people, and it is just the epitome of great small town romances that usually have this beautiful, deep underlying tone to them, and they're just great. And then we have Only a Cowboy Will Do, which is an older woman, younger man romance in which we're dealing with a woman who's raised her nephews from the time she was pretty young. So I think there's only like 10 years between them. So for her 40th birthday, they buy her this vacation on a ranch, and the ranch happens to be one of the nephew's friends that owns it and runs it. So since he was in town, he offers to take Aunt Jenna with him. He expects to find this old biddy, and he finds this beautiful woman in short shorts who doesn't look a day over 25, and she's 40, and it's their romance. It's glorious. I love it. This is not a wrap-up, Shayla. What are you doing? Then I have One Night with a Cowboy by Sarah Richardson. I really loved this book. Again, we've got a single mom and a rodeo guy who wants to settle down. I love it. I love it so much. This was so fun. Then I was sent A Rogue to Remember by Emily Sullivan. Again, really enjoyed this. It was a good time. This was a debut historical, and I think it was really solid for a debut. I look forward to the evolution of this author over time. And then Sandcastle Beach by Jenny Holiday. I loved this series so much. This is the Matchmaker Bay series. So this is the third book in the series. So this is the end of the trilogy, and I loved it so much. If you have not read Jenny Holiday, she's a Canadian author, and I really love it because her novels are usually based in Canada as well. Her Bridesmaids Behaving Badly series is also really, really good. So definitely check out Jenny Holiday if you haven't. And then this one wasn't technically sent to me by Forever. It was sent to me by the author, and it's published by Forever, and that is The Duke Heist by Erica Ridley. Erica Ridley kindly sent me this for review. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Loved it so very much. Highly recommend. All right, now we're going to move on to Grand Central. They sent me a couple things this quarter that I'm very grateful for. They sent me One Step to You by Federico Mochia, or Mochia. I'm not 100% sure how you say that name. This is One Step to You. This is from the Rome novels series. There was a Netflix original series called Summertime based on this book series. Sadly, I didn't get along with this. This is a Romeo and Juliet inspired story, and it's very modernized, and the way that they modernized it was so cliche for me that I just couldn't deal. So this one was not a win for me, sadly. I was really looking forward to it. The writing itself wasn't that bad. It was just some of the choices in the storytelling I didn't get along with. So I'm definitely going to try more by this author, hoping that the choices would be different. So yeah, I'm very particular with Shakespeare retellings, so you have to know that as well. So that's probably more why I didn't get along with this. I can definitely see why people would like it though. So don't take my word for it. Try it on your own. And then they also kindly sent me Elizabeth and Margaret, The Intimate World of the Windsor Sisters by Andrew Morton. This is the same author as Diana, Her True Story. And I love royalty things. Like, I blame my mom for this, so I'm just very excited to read this. All right, now we are moving on to Source Books Casablanca. They sent me 3 books this quarter, and they are so generous to do so. The first one they sent me was An Unexpected Earl by Anna Harrington. I actually quite enjoyed this one. Definitely, I wanted a little more from it. It was a little less romance, a little more action, but still good. The next 2 I haven't read yet. So we have Warm Nights in Magnolia Bay by Babette Dijon. I believe this came out today upon filming, so this should be available to you now. And then also Summer by the River by Debbie Burns, and this one is out as well. I just haven't gotten to reading these yet. And then last but not least, I got sent a YA book from Quirk Books. This is Lycanthropy and Other Chronic Illnesses by Kristen O'Neill. I have this currently on my TBR to read soon, so you will get my thoughts on this one soon, but it looks adorable, so I'm very excited. All right, on to the generous things from my friends. I've adjusted my stacks now. So first up, the ever so generous Melissa from over at Libraries and Labradors sent me a box with 8 books in it. She was just culling them from her shelves, and I'm like, these look interesting to me. Do you mind? She's like, yeah, you can have them. So I paid her shipping and she sent them to me. So thank you so much. I do have a video planned with these first 3 because I think they're bonkers banana pants and it's going to be fun. So there are 3 novels by Dara Joy. So this first one here is called Mine to Take. Like, there's even like a key here and she's there on the back trying to set him free. Look at that step back. We love to see it. And then I've got Night of a Trillion Stars, Love in Another Time, Another Place. And this looks like time travel possibly, or spacey. It's called a futuristic romance, so I don't know. But man, it looks like it could be banana pants. And then also Rajar by the best-selling author of High Energy, Dara Joy. Look at that cover. And then she's got a cat here on the back. Like, I'm just dead. Like, these look banana pants, but I'm so excited. And then she also sent me a bunch of classic Christine Feehans from the Carpathian series, which some of them I did not have and others I did. Like, I think there was one that I did, but the rest I didn't. So these are really cool. So I have Dark Fire, which is Darius and Tempest. Darius and Tempest, which was a really fun one. And then we have Dark Challenge, which is Julian and Desiree, which is another one I really like. We have Dark Gold, which is Alexandria and Adrian. This one was my first, like, steamy romance audiobook I ever listened to from my library. Oh man, it's good. And then we have Dark Magic by Christine Feehan. This is book 4 in the series, and I have the newer cover as well, so I'm not sure which one I'll keep. And then Dark Desire, which I don't have a physical copy of. This one is Shay, and it doesn't say on the back. I can't remember his name, but I know I've read this. It's been a long time. But anyways, thank you, Melissa. You are a gem. I adore you as a human. You are just great. So this one is from Tiffany. This is Witchling by Yasmin Galanor. I've not read anything by them, but they had recommended this to me, and then they went ahead and sent it my way. It's so sweet of them. And it looks very witchy, obviously, so I'm very excited about that one. And then the amazing Laura over at Laura's Library Card sent me The Raquel of Roth by Emily Howard. She's so sweet. We're doing Love in the Night and Again. She sent us all a sweet little gift, and Laura's just so sweet. Thank you, love. And then someone, I don't know who, sent me Highland Spitfire by Mary Wine. Like, I don't know who sent it. There wasn't a note from Amazon, but this was on my wish list, and now it's not. So yes, whoever you are, please tell me. I want to thank you. I plan on reading this soon because it's my girl Tamika's favorite. Tamika, was it you? Did you sneak this into me? Tell me if it was you. And then Tiffany, who sent me Witchling, also sent me Blind Date with a Book Boyfriend by Lucy Eden. With recent things about the Ripped Bodice coming out, I don't know how I feel about this book anymore. I loved it though. And I love Lucy Eden's writing, so I think I'm going to keep it because I want to promote Lucy more than I want to promote The Ripped Bodice. So I don't know. I might pick up something else from Lucy instead and buy that and then send this on. I don't know. I'm having mixed feelings. Help me out here, guys. But either way, Tiffany, I'm very grateful because I really did enjoy the read. Now, my girl Lindsay sent me a couple books. So first up, she sent me Star Daughter by Shweta Thakrar. I'm really bad about pronunciation, so I'm really sorry. And I forget if this was, I don't remember if it was like the Owl Crate edition or the Fairy Loot edition. I don't remember, but she sent me the special edition with the beautiful purple sprayed edges and the different dust jacket, because I think the other one is more like gold. So that's why I want to say it's Owl Crate, but I don't remember for sure. Either way, very excited to read it with her. And then she also sent me Incendiary by Zoraida Cordova. And again, I think this one is a Fairy Loot edition is what I want to say. And we plan on buddy reading this together as well. So always grateful to my girl Lindsay and her generosity to me. And then my boss brought in a box of books and she came to me and said, pick whatever books out of this box that you want. So I picked out a couple that I probably wouldn't have picked up on my own, like with my own money. But since they were free, I want to give them a try. So the first one is The Way the Crow Flies by Anne Marie MacDonald. Both a head-spinning murder mystery and an absorbing exploration of morality, innocence lost, and the lengths of which parents and children will go to protect one another. Astonishing in its deep breadth, The Way the Crow Flies artfully weaves one family's struggle into the fabric of the Cold War. So it just seems very interesting. And I think it could be something to stretch me a little bit in my reading, which I like to do on occasion. So it's chunky. So I might see if someone would want to like buddy read this with me during like a tome topple kind of time, because it's like 800 pages long. It's long. And then I also have Rainy Nightingale by Katie DiCamillo. Again, bad with pronunciation, I'm sorry. Have you ever in your life come to the realization that everything, absolutely everything, depends on you? Like 3 girls, 1 summer, a friendship that changes their lives. And I love books about female friendship, as you guys know. So very excited for this as well. So thank you to my amazing friends and subscribers and my boss for sending these books my way. I'm very, like, my heart is all warm and gushy from it. So thank you. And now I will get into the massive amounts of books that I paid my own money for. Okay, so one book I forgot to mention because I had it in a different spot and it just showed up. And that is Rogue Warrior by Margaret Mallory. This was kindly sent to me by Forever. They accidentally sent me a duplicate, so I will be sending that on to someone who I'm planning on sending a couple other duplicates to as well. So just know that, very excited for that. It's a 2-in-1, looks like medieval fantasy romancy, which is right up my alley. Very excited about that. What I'm gonna do is I have kind of an abnormal stack. I have a couple of poetry collections I picked up this quarter, as well as some comic bind-ups. So I'm going to start with those and then we'll dive into the rest of the books. First up, I picked up Homebody by Rupi Kaur. I like this collection pretty well. Poetry is subjective, obviously, so not everyone's gonna love everything. But I thought the way this collection came together was really powerful. I ended up giving it 4 stars. It was really good. The most 2 recent releases from Amanda Lovelace. So we have Break Your Glass Slippers and Shine Your Icy Crown. Both of these, this one's the Target exclusive. This one's just Barnes & Noble. They had it on sale. And I forgot that she had started another series. I really like her style of poetry writing. So if you have not tried hers, maybe try hers. But I really just enjoyed my time with these collections as well. I gave both 4 stars, maybe more. Can't remember at the moment. All right, on to the comic bind-ups. So first up, I was able to find a used copy of Scale and Scoundrel Volume 2. I heard recently that this series is going to be continuing, so I'm very excited about that. I picked up Skyward Volume 1. I initially heard some buzz about this, but then not a lot of people talking about it. I found it really interesting, and I'm really intrigued to see what's going to happen in the future of this series, because it just took a dark turn right at the very end of the volume. So I will be picking up more volumes of this one. And then I found out Goldie Vance Volume 5 was out, so I had to pick this up because I love Goldie Vance. This is about a girl who loves to solve crimes at her dad's hotel. It's got this retro feel to it. I just love it. This was fantastic. And then I picked up volume 1 and volume 2 of The Wicked and the Divine. I read volume 1 and I'm intrigued. So I went ahead and picked up volume 2. I do plan on reading this relatively soon as well. And then I also picked up Isla or Isla, I'm not 100% sure on the pronunciation of that, volume 2. I really loved the first volume of this one. Like, the art is truly just magnificent in this series, and the way they use color to tell the story is fantastic as well. So I'm really looking forward to continuing. And then I technically picked this up for my husband for Valentine's Day, but I ended up enjoying it a little more than he did, and that is The Q Conflict. This is a Star Trek comic, and it's basically someone fan casting like their ideal crew from the 4 ships. We have the Defiant crew, we have both Enterprise cruises, and the Voyager crew. So this is basically just dream casting groups of people together and how they would work together. It's really a lot of fun. It just doesn't have enough Q-ness for me, if that makes sense. If you're a Star Trek fan, you get it. And then last but not least, for the comic bind-ups, I did pick up volume 2 and volume 3 of Alex and Ada, which does conclude the series. I have to say I'm really happy with how this story concluded for the most part. There was one slightly convenient thing right at the very end that kind of took it down for me. But this second volume was really solid. I really liked what happened in it. And I love that there were consequences for the decisions that they'd made throughout the series in volume 3. So I just think it was brilliantly done and really well handled. And yes, I would definitely pick up things by this duo again. Hey friends, Editing Shay here. So I realized I left out an entire stack of books as I was editing this. So I'm going to quickly insert this clip here with the things that I missed. So please forgive the bad lighting. I'm just using my webcam rather than my standard camera, so please forgive the quality, but it's a decent amount of books that I missed, so I'm like, I just need to throw this in here. So first up, we have My Daring Duke by Stacey Reed. This is a historical that I'm really interested in, and I've heard a lot of great buzz about, so I'm very excited. And then I got Promise of Love by Sylvie F. Summerfield. And it's one of those rare, like, double step back situations, which is kind of cool. But that's what the step back looks like. It's stunning. I did pick up a copy of Texas Destiny by Lorraine Heath because I'm really interested in her take on a Western romance because I really enjoy her Regency romances. Another Lorraine Heath is Lord of Wicked Intentions. I did find a copy with this gorgeous step back in it, which we love to see. And I have 2 Eloisa James books. They are both from her fairy tale series. So I have Once Upon a Tower, which is a Rapunzel retelling. And then I have The Ugly Duchess, which is an Ugly Duckling retelling. The step back is stunning. And I don't love the title of this, but I'm really hoping the story itself is good. And then I have 2 Jude Deveraux novels. I have River Lady, Casa Grande. They both feel very different from historicals that I've picked up previously, so they were very intriguing to me, and so I really wanted to give them a try. They also had a few Sabrina Jeffries. I got most of these at my local used bookstore. So there's After the Abduction with the back cover step back, which is stunning. We have Dance of Seduction with this back cover step back, I should say. I can't talk now. And then I have Married to the Viscount, which is the tub scene on the front and the towel wrapping on the back. So love those. And then the last book for this interruption is A Vow So Bold and Deadly. This was one of our Tell It Again book picks this quarter, and I can't believe I forgot to it was just, this stack is the one that's like tucked behind me as you're watching the video. That's what this stack of books is. So just know that I didn't intentionally leave them out. There was just too much. So take that for what you will. Anyways, back to your regularly scheduled Shay. Now we're into the books. I'm going to go by size. So we're going to go mass market, slightly bigger mass market, trade paperback to hardback. So that's usually how I do this. I tried to group authors together as best I could, but I know I'm not perfect at that. So here we go. First up, I finally picked up a copy of A Duchess a Day by Charis Michaels. I got this for review back in November and I really loved it. So I found the paperback for a decent price, so I picked that up. And then I have Mine Till Midnight by Lisa Kleypas. I found the beautiful edition with the beautiful step back. So I plan on reading this hopefully soon. I've got so many things to read, who knows. Another Lisa Kleypas that I picked up was A Stranger in My Arms. Again, found the beautiful edition with the step back. And then I picked up Devil in Her Bed by Kerrigan Byrne. I really loved this entire series. I know not everybody loved this third book, but I found it very interesting because it was so different from the others. And I love that Kerrigan Byrne can do that for me. She could take characters you know and put them in a situation that you don't expect. And I just loved it for that. And then I've got The Devil Who Tamed Her by Joanna Lindsay. I found this at my local used bookstore. It's pretty beat up, but I do love the step back on that one. I did pick up the new edition of Gentle Rogue by Joanna Lindsay because I wanted to try reading it. I didn't get along with it so well, so I will probably send this on to my used bookstore. One that I loved, though, was Someday My Duke Will Come by Christina Britton. One of my first 5-star reads of the year. Definitely highly recommend this series and this author. And then I got the One Lucky Day Jill Shalvis bind up. There's two. It's a 2-in-1, so it's Head Over Heels and Lucky in Love in here, and I'm so excited to read these. I believe Lindsay got this as well, so we're probably gonna buddy read it. And then another one of my 5 stars earlier this year was Then There Was You by Mona Schroff. This book gutted me up one side and down the other, and I have no regrets. This was a beautiful story all about culture, about grief and loss, and what you do after grief and loss as you cope. And oh, it's so good. Like, I cried multiple times throughout this book. Like, if you need that emotional outlet, this book. I plan on revisiting it often when I need to emote, because I definitely want to pick up more Mona Schroff as well. This was beautiful. Then I've got Flirting with Forever by Cara Bastone, another one of my 5 stars this year. I love Cara Bastone so much. I love this series. The Forever Yours series is fantastic. This one concludes the series, and we're following Mary and her partner, and I love it. I love it so much. Sorry, I already moved into the bigger sides, but I've got more mass markets because that's the way the stack went. Sorry. So I also picked up Big Bad Wolf by Suleika Snyder. I'm not sure on that first name. Forgive my pronunciation. I mean, we're talking about a wolf shifter. Y'all know me. Wolf shifters are my thing. I need to read this. One that came out just today, I believe, was Careless Whispers by Cynthia Williams. I love this Jackson Falls series. If you like a prickly heroine, Elena is your girl, and Alex is the perfect, like, balm to her spikes. Like, I love this. I love this a whole lot. Their dynamic is amazing. Highly recommend. All right, let's do some paranormals here for a minute, because I have a whole stack of just paranormal next to me. So let's do those. So something I'm currently reading is No Rest for the Wicked by Cressley Cole. Definitely enjoying this series. I've only read the first book, and I'm really excited to keep going because all of my friends love IAD, and I trust them. So my local Barnes had both The Rogue King and The Blood King by Abigail Owen. Dragon shifters, like, that's all I need to know. I have Reckless Road by Christine Feehan. Though I didn't connect with this one quite as much as the other books in the Torpedo Inc. series, I still enjoyed it enough that I wanted to own it. There are some great cultural references in here that I thought, considering Feehan wasn't of that descent, I thought it was really well handled as I read it, so there's that. I picked up 3 books in this series at my local used bookstore. It's the Otherworld novel. They're by Yasmin Galenorn, like witching. And so I have Harvest Hunting, Bone Magic, and Demon Mistress. I don't know the order on these or anything, but y'all know me in paranormals. I just love them. They're a thing. Another couple of books that I found at my used bookstore that I'm curious about, they're by Sarah Humphreys. So we have Undone, they're Amaveo novels, and Untouched. I don't know the order on these, but both of these look really interesting to me. So I don't know if the guys can be touched. But yeah, it's interesting. Like, the concepts behind them were intriguing to me. Back to the other stack. I've got one more stack of mass markets, and then we'll move on to trade paperback size. So I did pick up How to Catch a Queen by Alyssa Cole. Read this with Izzy over at Happy for Now. We both were kind of in the middle about it. Like, we feel like the beginning of this book needed a lot more editing, and then the end needed some fleshing out. So it was just a little imbalanced, but I am excited for the future of this series. And then we did some Beverly Jenkins shopping in this quarter. So I have the whole Captive trilogy, or the Destinies series. I don't remember the name of it. So we have Destiny's Captive, Destiny's Embrace, and Destiny's Surrender, which I'm very excited to read those soon. The two that I have read out of these are Rebel by Beverly Jenkins. I did have an ebook of this, but I finally saw a physical copy in my bookstore, so I picked it up because I know I love Beverly Jenkins enough that I don't care that I double bought. And Wild Rain by Beverly Jenkins, which is her most recent release. I love Spring. She is my queen. I love her. Go read this book. And then I picked up The Good, the Bad, and the Duke by Jana McGregor. I got this to buddy read with Lindsay. I've not read any Jana McGregor yet, so I'm excited to try this author. Then I have a copy of To Sir Philip with Love that I found. I think I only have one more Bridgerton book that I'm waiting for. And then I have The Heiress by Jude Devereaux. Again, I found this at my used bookstore in pretty good condition. I do want to try more Jude Devereaux. I read one this quarter and I liked the writing enough. There were just some choices in that story that I didn't get along with. So I'm hoping that that does a little better. And then I picked up Bittersweet by Laverell Spencer. I have some friends who have been reading Laverell Spencer recently. I'm really enjoying that. So I really wanted to give Laverell Spencer a try. And then last for the mass market stack is Scoundrel of My Heart, which came out just recently. I love this book. This is Griff's book. If you read Beauty Tempts the Beast, you know who Griff is. And it was everything I wanted it to be. It was so good. I loved it. Time for the trade paperback size. So first up we have The Forever Girl by Jill Shalvis. As I've mentioned to you guys before, Jill Shalvis is kind of like a palate cleanser to me, and Lindsay and I love to buddy read her stuff, so we'll be picking up another Jill Shalvis soon. And then we have King of the Rising by Kaysen Callender. I quite enjoyed Queen of the Conquered, so I'm really interested to see how this concludes. I've heard mixed feelings about this second book, but I still want to know for myself. And then I picked up Notorious by Minerva Spencer. I know that there's another one in this series coming out soon, if it's not already. This is the Rebels of the Ton series, and it just seems so intriguing. I want to try. Then I have First Comes Like by Alicia Rai. I liked this a lot better than a lot of people out there. I thought it was really fun. It was a quieter, softer romance, low angst, low drama, and I loved it for that. Like, the beginning has a lot of, like, impact due to the setup for the story, but after that, it was just this quiet romance, and I needed that at that time. It was a great fit for me. Then we have Accidentally Engaged by Farah Heron. I loved this. This was so fun. It will make you so hungry as you read it. Like, you need to read it. Act Your Age, Eve Brown. I love the Brown sisters. I'm sad it's over, but it's brilliant. Check it out. And then I did pick up a couple of Helen Hard books this quarter. So I picked up Follow Me Under. It's supposed to be kind of like 50 Shades-ish, so I'm just curious enough to read it. And then Awakened, which is another book in the Steele Brothers saga. I believe we are following children of our previous main characters, not the last trilogy, but all the trilogies before, so I'm very excited. And then last for the trade paperback size is 99% Mine by Sally Thorne. I know Sally Thorne has another book coming out in April. I've not read this one, and I think I've had enough distance from everybody's initial opinions about this book that I will be able to come into it unbiased and know my own thoughts for sure. Oh, num bum. I'm just glad my cats are behaving today. The last haul, they were not. So on to a few indie published books. So first up, I have Master of Crows by Grace Draven, which I am currently reading. And it's interesting now, this is very early on in Grace Draven's writing from what I understand. And not everybody has loved this, but I'm looking forward to figuring out my own opinions once again. I picked up Abel by Katie Robert. I loved this. I loved this so much. I cannot wait to get Broderick in my hands. Like, this is solid, really. If you like menages, you'll love this book. The dynamic has that hate to love aspect to it, but it's done in a way that makes sense. Like, the characters have history. And yes, very, very good. And then I have A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. I started reading this during Kindle Clear Out, But I had just read Neon Gods by Katie Robert, and so I needed some time away from Hades and Persephone, so I didn't directly compare them quite so much. My local bookstore actually had the first 3 books in the Off-Campus series, so I decided to pick them up. So I have The Deal, which I've read, and then I've got The Mistake and The Score. So I'm excited to try the next 2 in the series. All right, we are officially to the hardbacks. So first up, I have Badass Habits by Jen Sincero. I really loved this Badass series by Jen Sincero, so if you need to empower yourself, I think it's a really fun series to do that with. And then I have a book that my husband bought the audiobook for. I have the physical book for, but I did listen to it, and that is The Autobiography of Catherine Janeway, The History of the Captain Who Went Further Than Any Had Before. If you are a fan of Star Trek Voyager at all, I highly recommend the audiobook for this. I wanted to support it enough that I did buy the physical copy for all of the like pictures on the inside of the book. But yes, if you are a Voyager fan, this is definitely a book for you. I have A Court of Silver Flames. I did a whole reaction vlog for this. I'll leave it in the corner. But yes, of course I bought this quarter. I am Sarah J. Maas trash, and we know it. I did pick up Blood and Honey by Shelby Mahurin. I liked Serpent and Dove enough that I wanted to try. And, you know, obviously I found it cheaper at Target, and we'll see how this goes. Another one I found at Target was Instant Karma by Marissa Meyer. I like Marissa Meyer, though I'm struggling with YA lately, so that's why I haven't picked this up yet, but I am very excited to read it regardless. I did pick up Yolk by Mary H.K. Choi because I love Mary H.K. Choi. I really love her style of writing. It's fantastic. Permanent Record was a book that blew me away with the way the storytelling was done, and so I'm very much looking to this story about sisters. Okay, 2 more books. We're almost there. Things are falling over. So I did pick up the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition of How the King of Elfheim Learned to Hate Stories. Most of my series is in this, like most of my Folk of the Air series is in this cover, in the darker black Barnes & Noble covers. So, like, honestly, Ravani Kai is the whole reason why this book is worth it. The illustrations are worth it. And then last but not least, I have The Glass Queen by Gina Showalter. I have mixed feelings about this series as much as I love Gina Showalter, so we'll leave it at that. But with that said, thank you guys for watching this video. I know it was long and involved and yes, so thank you guys again for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know in the comments down below your favorite book that you picked up this quarter, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.